Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to patch a crack in your ceiling, as well as do some patchwork on the walls and places where there may be imperfections. And then we're going to paint the whole living room. This is a project that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, so let's get started. I'll get started by showing you what the living room currently looks like. On this wall, my plan is to sand down the tree a little bit. I may decide to paint it back, but right now I'm thinking of just covering it up. And I even put our initials on the tree. We're planning to paint this wall a lighter color. It's probably similar, but a lot lighter. And then over here on this side of the living room, we won't be doing much of anything other than painting the walls. The problem area is up here on the ceiling. You can see there's a crack here. There's an LVL beam above that. And due to shifting, it's caused a crack. And it goes all the way over to the other wall. And then here's another spot. So we have our old faithful there, Mr. Moose. He's ready to supervise the job. And then I have some different tools here on the bench. I'll be using the +3 compound. This is kind of an all-purpose compound. And then I typically use this fiberglass tape. The first step is going to be cutting out anything that's loose or hanging down. And there's some tape here that I'm going to cut out. I might be able to just cut a groove on the rest of that. I just want to make sure that I get anything that's loose off of here. I'm actually the one that does all of the finished drywalling on our rental apartments. My husband helps me some as well, and the nice thing is he usually does a lot of the final sanding. But I've probably done at least 10 of them, and that doesn't include like projects we've done around here. So I've had a fair amount of experience with it. So I'm basically just cutting a groove here. It's about a 1/4 inch groove, I'd say. Right where the crack is, you just cut in a little V. So in an area like this, it cracked off to the side. So I just followed the crack. And then I'm just gonna kind of come in at an angle. So this part right here is kind of flexing, so I'm just gonna cut it all the way out, because you don't want anything loose left up in there. So over here, all of this tape is loose. You can just see it coming right off. So I'm gonna have to take that all out of there. So I basically just gotta get anything that's loose out of here. It's time to get some grout in my pan. I think I'll start with about that much to start with. I can always come back and get more. I just basically just take my trowel and put it in here. And then a lot of times I'll clean off the back side of it. And then I just put it on the seam. I'm gonna start by filling this crack with drywall compound. You wanna make sure that you push the drywall compound up into the seam. And then you wanna make sure that you get it wide enough, because you can always scrape it off afterwards. But you want to make sure it's wide enough so that it catches both sides of the tape. I just take my spatula and lightly pull it over this so it's kind of smooth. And then I'm just going to take my tape and make sure it's on the center of the seam. I'll just come along here and just press it in. Lightly to start with. Make sure you're not pulling on the tape. And then I just pull off any excess grout. And then kind of smooth the edges a little bit. All right, that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna let that dry. I'll get the rest of these seams done. And then I'll come back when we're ready to do the second coat. So I have this little hole where there was an eyelet, and we're gonna change that. So I need to put some grout on there, and basically you just push it in, and then you just take your trowel and scrape it back off. It is day 2, and I'm starting out with the +3 once again. And with this coat, I'm gonna do a build-up coat. I never used to do this. I just did several thin layers, but I found that whenever I build up the second coat, I found that it saves time in the long run, because by having that, then the next time I can go back and do an even coat over the top of it. And also by using a different compound, a lot of times there's a color variation, so that way when we're sanding, we can see if we went too far. So this is just how I do it. And I don't pretend to be an expert. I have done quite a bit of drywalling, but I'm sure there's ways that are much better than this. But I'm just sharing with you how I do it. So I'm gonna do the building coat now. So I'm gonna start by just going over the tape. Oops, ugh, I'm already making a mess. So I'm just kind of covering that tape. And then I'm gonna come back and smooth it off a little, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it, because on the next coat, we're gonna taper off of this and make it smoother. So now I'm just gonna kind of lightly go across here and smooth it out just a little bit, while still leaving a buildup on there. I just don't want any big clumps of stuff hanging down or anything like that. It's so tempting to want to just make it beautiful and smooth, but the next time I will thank myself whenever I come back to smooth this all out. So that's all I'm doing with this coat. Next time we'll be able to get it smoothed out a little bit more and fan off of the seam. So I'll get this coat finished and I'll be back whenever I do the third coat. We're going to start this next coat out by using the Proform. It typically has a light blue lid on it, and it's the lightweight joint compound. It's easier to sand than the other type of drywall compound. So this compound seems a little thick. We've had this sitting around for a little while, so I'll be adding some water to it to just thin it out. And many times on my last coats I do that anyhow. I feel like it spreads a lot easier. So I just pour some water in there. Try not to add too much to start with, and if it still seems thick, then I add more later. I actually think that's going to be thin enough. I don't want it falling back down on me. When I put it on my paddle, it's not falling off, but it's thin enough to spread easily. I'm going to switch over to a 12-inch paddle for this next layer. The first thing I'll do is take my knife and scrape off any high edges. So I'm going to spread some compound across here. And then I'll take my paddle and I will fan off the outside edges, pull off any of the excess, and do the same over here. And this coat will be around 12 inches wide. It's basically just smoothing out the last coat that we just did. And we're also feathering out the edges. I typically do at least 4 coats. A lot of people can do it in 3, but there's a lot of extra sanding in my opinion. And I suppose the pros can probably do it in 3 and not have a lot of extra sanding. But this is just what's worked for me. For the second coat on the wall, I just come back and I just put some more drywall compound, press it in, and then scrape it off. There's no real shaping or anything. You're just basically putting it on and scraping it off, so it's super easy. That should do it for the walls. And then as far as the ceiling goes, we just have about 1 more coat, and then that one will be ready to sand, and then it will be time to get this living room painted. The seam that I did this morning is already dry, so I'm going to give it another coat. And I'm using a bigger trowel. This is probably about a 14-inch trowel. And if you don't have a big one, just work with a small one. It just makes it a little bit easier. And I thinned my grout out even more. It's not running down my trowel, but it's very thin. So I'm gonna go out wider with this coat. The goal is to fill in any imperfections. I'm gonna start kind of in the center area and then just fan off that outside edge. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. But with this coat, you want to try to get it as smooth as you can so that you don't have as much sanding to do. I think this is looking smooth enough, so I think it's ready to sand after it dries. So I'll get the rest of these seams done, so we can get on to the sanding part of this. This is what the seam looks like now that it's dry. Rich is so kind to do all the sanding for me. The sanding's all done and it is ready to be painted. So we have the same here that we did together, and an area over here, and there was an area here, and then we did some spots on the wall. So I got my painting clothes on and I'm ready to paint. I like a 3-inch angled brush to cut in with. And for the ceiling, it's going to be super simple. I don't even have to worry about getting it on the walls because I will be doing the walls when I get done here. I just paint out a few inches from the edge so that I don't have to worry if I catch it with a roller. So yeah, that's all there is to this. Rich has the power roller out and he is getting the ceiling rolled. Anytime we have a big surface to cover, we like to use the power roller because it speeds up the process. Yesterday we got the ceiling all painted. Typically when we're doing an apartment remodel, we spray all of the ceilings and the walls with primer. And then we come back and we spray the ceiling with an eggshell white paint, and then we get out the power roller and do the primary color. If we have a secondary color, I just roll that with a regular roller. It usually doesn't pay to get out the power roller for just one small little room. I decided to freshen up the trim while I'm at this because the nice thing is I can get paint on the wall and it won't matter. There's a few places that need caulking, like right in here. So I want to touch everything up that needs caulking before we paint it. There's this area here that was by the dog's water dish. We actually need to nail this trim back in and then put caulk on it and get it painted and sealed up really good. So I typically like to do the wall painting last, because it's a lot easier to come in at this angle than trying to cut in here on the edge. So I'm gonna cut in the edge first. So much faster than trying to cut in. And I already washed all of the trim to make sure there's no dog hairs or any dust or anything like that, or grime on the trim. All of the trim is painted. And then we got this area fixed and painted. And then I repainted the trim over here. It brightened it up quite a bit. And then Rich sanded the tree down. What I do when I'm cutting in the paint around the ceiling is I always put a little paint on the wall, and then I just reach up and carefully cut in along the ceiling. And when I feel like my brush is getting a little bit dry, I just get back down here in this paint, and then I paint some more. And I usually paint down just a little bit. And when I roll, I come up over top of that. I just wanted to take a quick break and show you what it looks like outside of our dining room windows here. We've had sub-zero temperatures here, but look at all of that snow. It is beautiful, even though sometimes the snow can add a lot of extra work. We got little Miss Sparky down here. She's had a rough month. She wound up with a hematoma on her ear, but she's doing better. They have her on steroids now. You say hi, Moose? He looks at me like, get that camera out of my face. I completely forgot to film whenever I painted the color on the walls, but I think most of you know how to paint a wall. So now it's time to show you what the finished living room looks like. I decided to order this plant stand to put here on this wall because it was just way too bare without anything on the wall, and it helps kind of warm it up, and it is something kind of different. And I put this planter down here that we planted together. I ordered this wall hanger to put a plant on. I didn't change anything over on this wall, except for, of course, it's a lot brighter with this new color. The ceilings look so much better. Well, I am so thankful to have this project completely done. It's been nice this winter to get all these little projects done around the house. I hope that I was able to show you a few ways that you can do little projects that make a big difference. I hope that something I did inspired you to take on an area in your home. Sometimes it just takes a little paint, a little cleaning, a little organizing, just some little thing to make such a big difference. Thank you for joining me as I freshened up the living room. I hope that you're all having a wonderful day. Bye for now.